Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, let's see, October, I believe, 20th. I'm on my phone, so I can't actually look. I typically look, but we're live. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt, and I am rocking the phone game today until my computer screen, you can see, has to restart. But we've got an awesome guest, as we do typically. We've got a really fun guest. I think her story and her journey is one of a lot of resilience and mostly I feel like um, an unexpected kind of discovery, an unexpected route in life, and especially for work or income or whatever. Um, a little more unexpected, and that's always exciting to me because it's the unexpected, it's the changes, it's the shifts that are created in our external world that often impact our internal world. And so anyway, I'm excited about this conversation. We're going to bring her in right now. Her name's Lorna. And Lorna, what's going on?
Good morning.
Hey, where are you calling in from?
I am in Northeast Texas, about 80 miles east of Dallas.
Okay, cool, awesome. And I was just kind of reading through a little bit of your questionnaire, and I loved the title "From Teeth to TikTok." That's so cool. I really like that a lot, and I thought that was like a nice touch. And also, you got a little bit of a copywriting skill, I see.
Maybe.
I like it. I like it. Um, so bring us into your world a little bit. Bring us into just your journey from, you worked a long time in the same career. And um, I was kind of like looking at your TikTok and just like checking it out. And I thought, man, you've done such a good job. And really over the last month, you've been smoking it. Maybe month and a half, 2 months or so. But just doing really well. And I was like, who is this person? I have never met this person.
I know.
I'd never heard of your name or anything. But tell us a little bit about like, your journey as like a dental assistant and all of that. And then bring us into the last year and a half with some health stuff and, how'd you get started online?
Yeah, I was in the dental field for 31 years. Um, Worked in several offices. The last one I was in, I was working on my 10th year, and 2020 was just a crazy year anyway, as it was. And in May of 2020, the Tuesday after Memorial Day, I had woke up with this horrible pain in my arm, and I kind of dismissed it as I just slept wrong. And then I thought, well, I have this little grab right here on this left side of my chest. And so, of course, I tried to talk myself in and out of what it could be, and was getting ready for work, and I was going to go and, you know, just kind of arguing with myself back and forth. I ended up going and getting it checked out. Come to find out, I had a heart attack, or I was having a heart attack. Mild. So, I recovered from that.
Hmm.
Went back to work, and then in July, I ended up having COVID, and it took me about 3 weeks to get over that. I wasn't quite sure I was going to get over it without being in the hospital, but I found a doctor that kind of gave me some medication, got me through it, and so um, I got through that. And then September, dental, people probably don't realize how stressful dental is. It's very stressful. I was working in a very high productive, high fast paced office. Um, and some things were happening, changes that I thought, I think it might be time, just with everything that's happened in 2020, to maybe kind of bow out and, kind of take care of myself for just a little bit. And I had every intention of eventually having to go back to work, but maybe not in the dental field. Maybe just, something here or there. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. So I ended up taking a year off, to kind of re, get in touch with myself, take care of myself mentally, emotionally, physically. And about, I guess June, somewhere around there of this year, I thought, it's time for me to kind of start looking, see what's out there. Cause I need some income. I need to contribute, I've always contributed. I've always had money and, and so this last year I'm like, I don't like not having any money. So I had a couple of working interviews. I thought, well, dental is all I know. So I thought, well, I'll go back and just go to a smaller office and, just kind of work out the rest of my working career. And I was just about ready to accept a job, and I had gotten on TikTok because I got on there for entertainment purposes. I like to look at, home organization and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I came across this young lady that was talking about how she was making money online, and, she was doing well, and she was, she intrigued me. I don't know why she even showed up on my page, but on my feed. But the first couple times I was like, yeah, whatever, it's almost the same story that you hear everybody say. It's kind of like, whatever. So she kept showing up, and I finally started watching her videos, and I thought, you know what? I might can do this. I think I can do this. And so I enrolled in the course, and it was amazing. I was pleasantly surprised. The course was just, it wasn't anything that I expected. I figured I would enroll in something or enroll in the course, and then it'd be like, okay, you're on your own. And that was far from the case. Oh, now I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. It's a super immersive experience.
Yeah. And I had like I said, I've only known teeth. That's all I know. So you can ask me questions about dental health all day long, and I can answer you. But when it came to something like this, I thought, man, I am in the dark. But it didn't take long for, to the pieces of the puzzle and everything to start coming together and starting to make more sense. And, it's just kind of snowballed from there.
Wow, cool. Yeah, that's so crazy how, man, it's wild to me that so many people from so many different backgrounds and so many different like walks of life can have such a similar experience of like, wow, I had no idea what what was I getting myself into? And then it turns into this big thing. And man, that's wild. What, did you feel like I don't know. It just seems interesting to me, like having done that job for so long. Was the entrepreneurial like shift, was that just different, or do you feel like it just kind of like you rolled into it, or how has that been?
It's been different, because I've been an employee my whole life. I've always had to answer to somebody or ask, before I did something, I had to ask.
Right.
I was shown, I don't know. I just had my mindset. Whenever I first started the course, there was something inside me, I think, that just, it clicked. And I was like, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm not failing. I told my BPA, I said, failure's not an option. I'm going to succeed at this.
Nice.
It may take a little bit, but I'm going to succeed at it. And just the education that I've gotten, I invested in some other resources that was offered, and I just can't say enough good things about the course itself.
And you're doing super well too. Yeah, course is great, but also you're starting to see an ROI. You're starting to actually like figure out how to become a marketer,
Yeah.
And that's what I always emphasize to people is like, you're going to learn these hard skills that, there's sort of soft skills and hard skills. My guess is, as like a dental assistant, you learn a lot of soft skills probably because you deal with people so much.
Right.
And then these hard marketing skills, the cool part is that I've found is like, I've been able to take those into so many different niches and industries. But when I was getting started, it wasn't really like a earn as I learn kind of thing. It was just like, I kept spending money on courses trying to figure it out. I could never figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, and just kind of racked up a lot of debt trying a lot of different stuff. And I think we're just in a unique period of time right now in history where it's just through social media and the way social media algorithms have changed, it is really leveled the playing field. It's remarkable. It's honestly, sometimes Dave and I will sit on, a meeting or something and just sit and be like, dang, can you imagine 10 years ago if we had TikTok? I mean,
Yeah.
geez. But it's easy to say that now, but back in the day we had our own, ways of hacking stuff. But this is just, I mean, the ability to post 15, 60-second videos and get, millions. We had this guy, Ian, who was just on the show a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
or a few months ago, had a really powerful story. He just had a video go to 9 million views.
Wow.
And I have multiple different channels and different niches. So like the For You page looks very different on all of those, right? Because some of them are like health and fitness, and he came up on every one of those.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it was like he had really penetrated the entire TikTok market, I think, just because it was so insanely viral. But yeah, I just think, just kind of a random dude out and he's in the UK. I mean, he's halfway across the world, and
Isn't that
um,
crazy?
I'm seeing his video on multiple different niches, and just, the amount of discovery I think is just insane. But anyway, back to you as a
Yeah.
side caveat, but you're doing really well. You're seeing really good results. You're over 30,000 followers. I'm so curious about your first couple of weeks on TikTok and on
Oh.
social media and what that was like. I mean, how did you get convinced to start, and was that tough?
That was very tough. I'm a very private person, I guess.
Sure.
I I don't post on social media. My husband and I have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. I just get
Right.
on there to kind of see what everybody else is doing. I never really
Right.
post anything. And then to have to go and start videos and of myself and put myself out there was just so uncomfortable.
Right.
It really was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I go back and sometimes I still watch a video and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed for myself,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And my husband will watch them and I'm like, don't watch them right here with me. So
That's so funny.
it's been something, a hurdle that I've really had to work to get over.
Sure. Yeah. I think
But I guess as time goes on and I'm doing more, it's getting a little easier.
sure. I
So
I felt like maybe I don't know if you felt this way too or not, but I felt a bit like those moments of like, oh my gosh, I can barely stand to watch myself, which I also went through, which is kind of funny because I started like making videos, my first videos online, like back in 10 years ago. I was really young, right? And it should be really easy, but people have, it's not as much an age thing, it's more of just like an internal block kind of thing.
yes.
And it's just funny because over time, I kept telling people, or people would keep telling me. I had like good mentors and stuff who were just like, dude, life is really short. Embarrassing moments or what people think of you just does not matter. And it just, I don't know. Sometimes when people say that, it's like, yeah, that's a nice saying, but the truth is, I really do care. Like, I really do care, like what Aunt Larry or Uncle Larry or whatever thinks of me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just interesting because eventually I really felt like I was sort of able to shed that fully and just be like, you know what? Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
we're all going to the same place here. Like, it's, it just doesn't matter. And so then I was able to sort of just let go a bit of some of that and just be like, hey, you know what? It just doesn't matter. Maybe I'm going to be a goofball today. Maybe I'm going to make fun of myself today. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Who
Yeah.
cares? And that kind of energy allows for more creativity and to have a bit more fun and just kind of like bring a playful side, I think, to content that people are really attracted to. That's what I found is just people just want different. They want something unique and novel and fun and just different, I think.
Yeah. And I've had to learn to kind of relax a little bit. Don't be so, everything doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect. So if you flub up or you stutter, it's okay.
Right.
But yeah,
And people
it's
like
been,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I
My,
think people really like that.
yeah. And my husband and my mother both were like, I'm so proud of you. I would have never guessed that you would have done this. And I'm like, I know. I know. I would have never thought I'd do it either.
You're like,
But
yeah, I know, thanks.
it's really been fun. It's something completely different than what I've ever,
Mm-hmm.
done. And
Yep.
it's been fun and it's been rewarding and challenging, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I feel a bit like in that process throughout that journey of sort of letting go, and also it is cool that there's people around you that are like, wow, like I'm proud of you, like this is and they should be, and you should feel proud. That is no small feat to create the amount of content that you've created. Just the not, it's one thing that the content would actually be good, like that's a whole different ball game, but to actually just create it
Yeah.
to start with, right? Like that's a huge accomplishment. To push through all the doubt and the first few videos that are kind of like, oh geez, like how is this gonna go, and
Yeah.
then to keep going, but also to keep improving your skills as you go. And that's a big thing that's really tough, because then you're starting to work through some self-doubt and some like, geez, like what the heck. And first time as an entrepreneur, like there's always sort of like this doubt of like, oh my gosh, like I don't think this is going to work, maybe it is, and then
Yeah.
tomorrow you wake up and you're like, this is definitely going to work, and then the
Yeah.
next day it's like, nope, it's over, I'm done, and it's like this funny,
Yes.
I don't know.
And I've been on that roller coaster.
Right.
I have. And I'm just like, you do a video and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. And so you post it and it gets like 200 and something views.
Right.
And then you put one out there and you're like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. And it gets thousands. And I just sit and I'm like, what? What is that all about? But,
Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
Do you feel like how long is it taken you to get to 30,000? You're at about 31,000 ish.
Yes.
Cool. How long is that taken?
I started really posting on TikTok on August the 25th.
Okay.
So I haven't quite been doing it 2 months.
Wow.
Yet.
That's pretty crazy if you really think about it. Like you're averaging about 500 to 600 followers a day.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because, it averages that, but it's just like I'll wake up and I'll have so many more all of a sudden overnight, and it just totally floors me.
Yeah.
And then I have also found myself not going to bed at night because I'm constantly checking what's going on, and I'm like, I got to stop that.
Right. Well, that comes over time, I feel like, as people develop skills, and there's this interesting, there's a little bit of a span of time where it's like it's new and it's fresh and it's your whole world a little bit, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then eventually maybe you get feedback from your family or from whatever, from yourself, your body is like, hey, just take a chill pill here, like that thing will be here tomorrow morning.
Yeah And that's what I've had to do. I've had to say, you know what, turn the phone off, turn it over, so if it lights up I can't, and just I have to shut off. I have to turn off.
Yeah, for sure. Are you in your journey to doing that, man? And when I say an average of 500 to 600 a day, that isn't really like you're getting every single day like 500 to 600 followers. My guess
Right.
is you have a few videos that have really, really popped off, and you get 10,000 followers from a single video, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so it's sort of like in like a risky stock world, like if people are picking small cap stocks, which are or really, really micro cap stocks, which are like small companies that are very high risk, you might buy 100 of them and two of them take off. And
right.
because they're so cheap, you can buy them for cheap, but you're going to lose on a bunch of them and you're going to win on a couple that are going to explode, and there's all your earnings, which is kind of the same thing. I mean, you're going to put out a ton of content. You never know what's going to work. And then lo and behold, you get one or two of those videos that really pop off. And you can grow an account really fast. I mean, this guy, Ian, again, that I was referencing in his run of a 9 million viewed video, put a couple 100,000 followers in a matter of a few days, and
Yes.
that's a lot of followers and a lot of sales and a lot of commissions,
Yeah.
all from a single video. It's crazy. But what for you in creating those videos, did you find that kind of creating viral videos or having a video go viral, get 10,000 or 100,000 views or something, was kind of the secret to growing that? Okay.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
And in
Definitely.
your process, are you creating a couple a day? Are you creating one a day? Or like, do you have sort of a try to get two or three out per day? Or what do you try to do?
I try to do 3 a day
Okay,
at the minimum. I
cool.
did have a span. We had some things happen in our family, so I kind of fell off the grid for a day or so, just because it needed my attention. But no, I've always tried to at least do 3.
Nice.
I've always tried to do 3.
Yeah, I think that that's good. And the more that I've been watching people's performance on TikTok and other social stuff, the more I've been telling them, hey, look, some of you are trying to get 5 to 10 videos out a day because you think it's a volume thing. And there's nothing wrong with a lot of volume, but if it's lacking the quality, then all of these short bite-sized things are not getting watched, and it's sending this feedback to TikTok saying like, hey, this person is just putting out a bunch of content no one wants to watch.
Yes.
And I tell people, I'm like, it's probably way more valuable for you to do one a day and have that one video every day, really curate, spend a good amount of time editing and making sure the transitions are fast and quick and point, and then people actually watch it. And then the feedback that comes back to TikTok is like, hey, look, like this person's videos are killing, like every one of these videos this person puts out does really well. We should get them in the For You page a lot more because we've got a content creator here.
Yeah.
And it's just a natural thing. This happens on every platform: YouTube, Facebook. Facebook's not as good for organic content creation, but Instagram, like all these platforms, people trying to do these weird ninja tricks or whatever. But the truth of the matter is like building a real skill of being a good content creator changes everything.
Yeah. And that's very challenging. I mean, creating content that's hard. It can be very hard, to know what to put out there. I've also noticed that if you're going to do like a sound or anything with it, any kind of music, if you use something that's viral on TikTok or popular on TikTok, that gets more views as well, which is
Mhm.
weird to me.
Yeah,
On mine anyway. I'm just
yeah,
like, that has nothing to do with the content. It's just the it's just the sound. But
yeah,
I have noticed that on a few.
yep, yeah. Oh, it's very true. They're it's part of what they're trying to create. It's part of the branding they're trying to create, is trying to create this sort of fun, lighthearted, and that's another piece of understanding content, is understanding the platform and what they're after.
Yeah.
Like what's their real goals? And in their case, they want something that's kind of funny, fun, playful, lighthearted. And so, I see a lot of content. I see a lot of content creators in our niche who are very serious, right? Like
Hmm.
everything's kind of just serious, and everything is like they don't really tell jokes in their thing, or they don't laugh, and I'm just like, guys, look, in any niche or any industry, this whole platform is to give people a good time, right? So all right, now you've got your ego and your stress and your insecurity that are getting in the way of all of this stuff. Like, let's
Yeah.
just take a step back and have some fun, right? Like, let's just, because think of it. I think people underrate what a follower really is. Like, 30,000 followers is a lot of people who went through your thing and hit follow, and they're not just ghosts. They're not just random people like who never see your stuff again. They see your stuff more
Yeah.
than once, and they'll keep coming back to it. And so sprinkling in just some fun stuff, right? So you have the ability in a platform where you can warm up your leads through your social media channel. Well, you can tell, funny things that happen to you throughout the day, or,
Yeah.
you can drop little funny like jokes, or just kind of, you don't have to tell jokes, but just funny anecdotes that help sort of people be like, oh, like, hey, Lorna's just like a normal person, like, okay, she isn't like some magical marketing robot
Uh,
or something. It's just like she's just a normal human, and it helps normalize and sort of make you more approachable, I think.
Approachable. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've just in the small amount of content that I've digested from you, I've just felt an approachableness, which my guess is that's why, you're able to convert so much of your traffic to sales. Is just like you seem approachable, and it seems and feels like this is believable. you
Yeah. Well,
know?
I try, that's,
Yeah.
I don't, that's one thing I don't like either. I have looked into other things in the past just out of curiosity, and some of those, that's just like with the course.
Yeah.
Whenever I watched Dave, it's like it's real.
Mm,
It's not commercialized. It doesn't feel advertised.
right.
And that's what I think attracts people to this
Mm,
to this course. It just
yeah.
is. It's real, and it works.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
The strategies actually work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that's been also, for a lot of people, I think that's been the reality, is just a discovery of like it's real, it's sort of raw, it's down to earth.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too if you go and sort of watch a lot of different people's sales videos in this industry for different products. It's kind of a bit like, okay, either it's just this weirdly like, I don't know, just kind of weird story about the founder or something that's like, I don't know how that's applicable,
Yeah.
or it's just about how you're going to make $1 million, in the next 90 days, or some stupid stuff
Yes.
like that, or whatever. And I think that a big key to sort of the reason why it is primarily because it tells a story, and it inspires people, and it connects to the part of people that is not just interested in transforming a pocketbook or something, which we definitely want to transform that, but also it speaks to kind of the whole of the entrepreneur of like that this piece can also impact and have sort of lasting influence on a lot of different parts of life. Like my guess is internally, you've also had a lot of internal growth. And if you were to reflect back on the last 2 or 3 or 4 months, you'd probably changed a lot. Like you probably had a lot of internal shifts, and maybe more confidence, or maybe just kind of like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Um, that has always been one thing that I've kind of struggled with is, self confidence.
Mm,
Back when I was in my early 20s, I had some things happen that appearance wise, that it just kind of shattered my self confidence.
Hmm.
And so doing this has kind of helped me kind of gain some of that back.
Hmm.
You
That's
know, um, I don't know. It has been. I mean, it's definitely I've definitely grown.
that's
And who
cool.
to think at 53 you can still grow, but you can. You still
Well, I
can.
think, yeah, I mean, definitely anything's possible.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's interesting to me because, yeah, I just, something about, I've actually coached, I would say I coached and have been on Zoom calls over the last 4 years or so with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I don't mean the webinars. That's in the high tens of thousands probably, but
Right.
I mean specifically like one on one. And a lot of them have been in later stages of life where I think you're in like mid. Like I think our like right now people are living so long. Like I tell people who are at 50 or whatever that it's like, hey, look, like you've got a long ass time to live. Like you got a long run
The,
ahead, you
the
know?
older I get too, I'm like, oh, 80, that's young.
Yeah, I seriously, Gary Vee is always like 40 is the new 20.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like there's so much, and probably I have no clue, but I try to like get in the head of other people, and like you probably look back at 40 and you're like, geez, like that is young, like 40 is
Oh,
young.
yeah.
And like you look you look great, energetic, like it just yeah, I wouldn't even yeah. Anyway, I think you look great and like you're killing it, you're crushing it, and it's got to be just such a fun, interesting experience. And I also feel like I personally like my experience of people who have done a job for like 20 years or you're over 20 years that you were doing that job. My internal reaction is like that has I have such a level of respect for that because um there's such like you build such a routine, you build such a like a lifestyle of routine, and you build such a common like a common place for where you get your income, how it comes in. And I feel that after even just a couple years working in a job or working as a consultant or whatever, that I imagine doing that over 20, 25 years, 30 years is like that's a long time. And you get set in this structure and you get set in that, and to have that broken, changed and shifted. Um, I talk a lot about internal shifts, and Dave talks a lot about that too. But I think as you progress, like it has to become harder to break those shifts and to break those uh, walls down and sort of reconstruct things and and like
Yeah,
pull yourself apart and
yeah.
change and adapt and like I even think my parents are way older than you, but I feel like to imagine them to do those shifts and what I know of them after having lived much of their life doing the same job, I'm just like, that is remarkable. Like, what a cool thing to like. I just feel like I'm lucky because I'm like, that is a cool, inspiring thing to look in on and just be a part of. It's really cool.
Yeah. It well, you create habits too and routine, and it just all that is, it all comes to a halt. Of course, that was my doing, but
Right.
still it takes some adjustments to fall into a different routine, and which has been good because this is I've always wanted to be at home with my kids when my kids were little. And so that
Mm.
opportunity never did present itself because, we didn't even have internet really back then. But
Yeah.
for this opportunity to come now that I've got grandbabies and my girls are older,
Mm.
I can still be there for them, but and still make good income.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
How
it's
cool is
great
that?
at this stage in life. It's great.
Yeah. It's really cool. And you're barely just getting started. I mean, whew.
Yeah. I have had to kind of conquer my imposter syndrome. You know, I fall into that soloist, superhuman category of I'm doing this by myself. I'm not asking anybody for help, or, you know, but I've kind of stepped back out of that. And, you know, I've reached out to some people, and that helps a ton.
Yeah,
Helps a ton.
cool. That's great.
Yeah.
And having, even whether it's in our community or whether it's elsewhere or whatever, having that, yeah, good. I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's definitely been within our community.
yeah.
I mean, that's another good thing about this is the community. It is so widespread, and everybody is so willing
Mhm.
to help. You know, because we've all started somewhere. You know, and I've even actually had
Yep.
people say, "Will you help me?" And I'm like, "I'll I'll do my best, but I'm only in this 2 months." So I mean, I told one
Yep.
of my videos, I said, "You know what? If you ask a question and I don't know the answer, we'll find the answer and we'll both learn it together."
Yep.
So,
Yep. Totally.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny because everybody who comes on, well, not everybody, but a lot of people who are newer to marketing, that's the same feedback they give, which is I probably wouldn't be here or have had the level of success that I've had without our community, without the people who have been around us, who have helped me, who have given a little bit of time. And it's just fascinating how um, the community itself has become sort of just this revolving, you give to me and then I'll give to the next person. You know,
Right.
it's the expectation that if I've figured something out or if I've had a breakthrough or something and somebody's like, hey, what's working? I'm going to give them my breakthrough. I'm going to let them know. And then they're going to go and have their own breakthrough and they're going to share that with somebody else. And it's just been this sort of trickle down effect, which is really unique in a business owner sense, in that most business owners sort of hold tight their secrets and they kind of, they have this fear-based mentality. But what people that we interview on this all the time, people are like, you know what, every time that I've done that, every time that I've given to people or given back to people or shared secrets, I've always had better results. I've always gotten, because I think it releases something internally too. It makes you more grateful. You remember about how the community helped you. And it shows up in an unconscious way in video content, in blogging, and all sorts of content. But it shows up in a way that I can't put words to, but it makes people different.
Yeah.
And that is a real secret, because I tell people to get to 10,000 online is a really tough, that's hard. That is really hard. But to get to 6 figures requires not just, it requires consistency over time. And then to keep something after 6 figures requires more of the soft skills. It requires more like just maturity and gratefulness and things that are a little less like hard skills. Those are the things to get you to 6 figures. But once you get there, it's relational capital. It's what do people say about you? Because then you might go start selling a $10,000 coaching package and people are looking up reviews on you and people are asking people, what's she like? Is she actually the truth? Is she not? Is she mean? Is she, what's she like? And then all that matters is what people say of you. And in that space, that's what I love when I hear people who are, our community is great and I'm now in a place where I can give back too. It makes all the difference, because our training's great and everything's great. And then, but once you get into the real sort of nuts and bolts of day-to-day, things change, and day-to-day what's working now, or, oh, this worked for me and it didn't work for them.
Yeah.
having the ability to workshop ideas in a community is really powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
What let you have the last word for everybody. What's for people who are newer, like they created a TikTok account this last week or this last month, and they're just getting going, they're just getting started. Maybe it's going a little slower than they expected. What would you say to those people?
Well, from my personal standpoint, I know what it's like to feel like you're kind of at a standstill, you're not growing, but you got to stick with it and just be consistent, because it's only going to take one video, maybe two, and your whole business will change. I mean, as soon as you get those first few videos that go viral, everything changes. You just have to stick with it. Keep your mindset focused, and it'll work.
Cool.
It
I
will
love
work.
it. Well, you're very inspiring story to me, to everybody who's here, and keep going, keep rocking. We'll get, you've got a long sort of, there's endless potential ahead, which is really nice about the online space. Is there's endless scale and there's endless growth and endless potential, which is really unlike anything else. And we'd love to have you back maybe in a couple months.
Oh, sure. I would love
have you
to.
on again and give an update.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And everybody who's here, her TikTok is right here. Go give a follow, leave a comment, let her know, hey, what was your favorite part about today's show? And yeah, give her a follow and watch her content and tune in, and be a positive sort of voice in the comments for her and help support her. And she'll do the same for you. So again, thanks, Lorna, for coming on. And for everybody who's here, we're going to be back here tomorrow. Dave will be back tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. As always, we've got lots of guests lined up. We'll be back here again, 10 a.m. Eastern. Take it easy, everybody. See you.